again.
Здравейте!
And welcome back to our little Bulgarian adventure.
Well, spring, we think, has arrived.
Yes, it's been lovely. Weather that just definitely puts a spring in your step.
Yes. We've gone from minus 16 overnight 2 weeks ago to plus 18 yesterday during the day, so lovely.
Yeah, the sun's been shining, ground's drying up.
Yeah.
Pretty
much all the snow has gone. We're still seeing little bits where it's pushed away by the snow plough, but that'll be gone in a couple of days. So yeah. Spring is officially here. You heard it here first.
And we've had a lovely week.
We have. We've managed to do stuff, go places, see things. It's been great.
So yeah, we started the week, didn't we?
We started the week with, well, as we told you last week, Saturday was the 1st of March, so we exchanged our martinitzes.
Yes, come on.
So we're now on the lookout for stalks or blossom, one or the other. On Monday, I thought, okay, I'll get all my materials and start doing the ceiling, except I couldn't.
No, we'd completely forgotten it was Bulgarian Liberation Day.
Yes. So it's a bank holiday here, or a public holiday, so the shop was shut. I also had a package to pick up from Econ, which I couldn't do because it was shut, but it was from a company that we found that ships stuff from the UK here at a very reasonable price.
Yeah, it's good.
Yes. You can order from online retailers such as Amazon. They'll deliver it to their offices in the UK. They'll bring it out here and e-cont it to your local e-cont office. The company's called Dostavkiuk, UK, which means deliveries UK. They charge 15 lever for up to 5 kilograms, plus 3 lever because you have to pay e-cont for the delivery in the country. Oh, that money thing. I'm not quite sure what 3 levers for, to be honest. But it cost me 18 lever in total, which meant I could buy stuff from Amazon, get it out here, a lot cheaper than buying it from Amazon in Germany and getting it delivered.
Yeah, we did try to find it in Bulgaria, but
yeah.
we only found one.
It was a tube heater for a project you'll see next week.
Yeah.
I couldn't find one anywhere apart from one agricultural company where it was very expensive.
Yeah, more than twice the cost of in the UK, which is crazy, but...
That's the way it is. That order arrived on Saturday at our local e-cont office.
Yes, it took about 2 weeks from the date of order.
It was slightly less than 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Which is, well, as far as I'm concerned, is brilliant.
Yeah. Very efficient service. Everything arrived as it should have done.
Yeah. So I'll leave the name of the company in the description. So if you're thinking of bringing anything across from the UK, give them a look. So I was able to pick up the package on Tuesday from Econ and also order my building materials, which was quite handy because it meant I could get on with the ceiling. I went to a few places, got it delivered as per normal, and got on and started work. This is what I did. So I now have the materials I need to do the suspended ceilings both here in the hallway and in the spare room. But before I can put anything in, I've got to take some stuff out. I showed you the hole in the corner last week where rain had come through in the past. Well, I've got to clean up around the hole, take down any loose plaster, and then board it so that I've got a continuous surface at the top to stop anything getting in. So that's my first job, making a mess. So this is the hole that we've got to deal with, and as I was saying, there is plaster all around it. Now, pulling up the plaster, this bit feels quite solid. That bit clearly isn't. So what I have to do is come along here. Anything that's not solidly up there, I need to take down so that it's not going to fall down once I put my suspended ceiling in. I think it's time to get the goggles. And that's offcuts of OSB that I've had in the barn. I thought, originally I was going to use a whole sheet, and I thought, hang on a minute, I've got these offcuts, and all they're doing is filling holes. So I brought the offcuts up, I've used those to fill the holes, I now have an uninterrupted surface which won't let anything through. So my next stage is to work out what height and what level I'm putting the tracking to support my suspended ceiling. Now that the holes are filled, I've got to set the level that the tracking is going to. The best way of doing that is with a laser level. This is the laser level on. You can see the line that I'm going to be taking the bottom of the tracking to. The actual ceiling itself, because of the thickness of plasterboard, will be about 1 centimetre lower. Now I can use this to basically draw a line all the way around the top, all 4 walls, and then I've got my level set, and I know as long as I follow that, my ceiling will be level. Obviously, if you don't have a laser level, you can use a spirit level in exactly the same way. Hold it up, make your marks, but if you do that, instead of moving it along for the next set of marks, go end to end. That way, if your spirit level's out, you'll be balancing up and averaging out, so you will get a pretty straight line. If you just go sliding it along, following the line, if it is out, once you get back to where you started, you'll have a gap, and it won't be level. I'm now going to mark the level with a pen so I can turn the laser level off, and I will have the level in pen ready for me to put the tracking up. And there's my line ready for me to fit the tracking once I've gone all the way around the room. I've now got all my metal work out here where there's plenty of room at the front of the house. My next job to do, hello Engelbert, is to measure and cut the right length for each of the lengths inside. Now I know the first one I need is 190 centimetres, so I'll measure that, mark it, and then cut it. So now that the tracking is the right length, I need to drill the holes for the screws that are going to hold it to the wall. Now obviously I need a metal drill bit, and I'm going to be drilling resting on this piece of wood so that I don't deform the shape of the metal. So now that we've got our tracking with the holes screwed and the right length, we need to mark where the holes go in the wall, make the holes, put the fixings in, and attach the tracking to the wall. That's the tracking fitted, screwed to the 4 walls, all at the same level. You can just about see on the right hand side where the blue line I drew from the laser level is. So we know it's following the right level. Now that I've done that, it's time to start working out where the beams are going and how I'm going to fit the beams around the hatch. So I've got to work out how I'm doing this box. Now what I think I'm going to do is run a beam from that bit of tracking there across the edge of this box, which the beams will slot into. Now I'll have to cut a bit of beam out so they can sit together and screw together, but I'll show you that when I do it. But I think that's probably the strongest way I can do it. Now, the other thing I've got to do is work out where the hangers are going. Now, they're to support the plasterboard and the beams and everything. So they need to screw into joists, and they need to be the right distance apart to allow room for the insulation and to tie up with the edges of each piece of plasterboard. So I'm going to measure that now, mark them up, and then I'll know exactly where I'm trying to put stuff when the beams go up. I've set up the laser level so that it shines along the path of the beam, so I can go along and mark roughly where the joists and hangers are going to go. As long as I keep them in the same line, I know that my joist will be straight, my beam will be straight, and they'll both be the correct distance from each other for fixing the plasterboard tube. So we've got to a stage where we've got the holes boarded up in the ceiling, we've got the edge tracking in place, we mark the lines where the beams are going to go, and we've marked the line where the first beam around the box is going to go. So I'm going to leave it there. I'll carry on with this tomorrow, but for this week, that's it. Hopefully next week we can get the hangers up, the beams up, the insulation and the plasterboard, but we'll see. But in the meantime, I'm going to go and have some tea. Well, I am getting there with the ceiling. It may not look like I'm making much progress, but I am. And I'm anticipating having all the plasterboard up by this time next week.
Yes, we would have gone a bit further, but Thursday we decided we were having a day off because we worked so hard on Tuesday.
Or Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Yes, so we went out to Shumen with some friends, had a lovely day out.
Yeah, it was really pleasant. It was like walking around in summer. It was in the UK, wasn't it?
Yeah. So we first went to a second-hand kind of antique type shop, which we'll take you to in the future so you can see what that was like.
Yeah, an amazing shop.
Lynn loved it.
I did love it, but you could hardly move in there.
And I was nervous, so I had to leave because I thought, I'm going to knock stuff off the shelves. I know what I'm like.
But it was lovely.
It was almost like a trip back down memory lane, seeing some of the stuff that you remember from years ago that was just there on the shelves.
Yeah, piled on the shelves.
Yes. Well, we went from there up to the music shop in Shumen because I needed some strings for my guitar. You know what it's like when you go into a music shop and you need some strings for your guitar? This is what happens.
so what should have been a 5-minute trip turned out to be quite a long stay in the lucky music shop.
But that's fine. We quite enjoyed ourselves.
We did. And thank you, Andrew, for the impromptu concert.
Absolutely, yes.
It was very good. We thoroughly enjoyed it, as did the 2 guys in the shop who were lovely. Quite characters.
Yeah, so if you're in Shumen and you need some musical stuff, go there.
That's the place to be.
We then went and had a little bit of lunch with Linda and Andrew at the Regal Cafe, or
I think it was called the Regal Cafe. Yeah.
the Regal something, which was right opposite the place that we also wanted to visit, the Chinese takeaway.
Yeah. Hua Sing Lo.
Huai Sing Lo, I think it's called. Again, that will be in the description as well.
Yeah.
The takeaway service, excellent. We went in there, the lady served us. She was quite surprised how much we ordered, but we have a max.
Yes.
So-
I think she thought, are you too seriously going to eat that amount of food on your own?
But she underestimates the power of a max. But the food was excellent.
Yeah, it was delicious.
Yeah.
A really good recommendation, Linda.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, if you're in Shumen and you want a Chinese, that's the place to go. I think you can eat in as well, so it's not all takeaway.
No.
So you could make a day of it. Yeah, so that was our day out in Shumen.
Yeah, and that brings us up to the end of the week. So
It does.
Back to roofing this afternoon.
Yes, carrying on with that ceiling.
Not roofing.
Not roofing, I'm not doing that until
No.
the weather gets better. But yes, carrying on with the ceiling and keep that progressing. There's a few other bits and pieces that will be happening next week, which we may or may not bring you. Depends how it goes.
If your camera's not working.
Exactly. But until then, it's time for us to say,
Stay safe.
be well,
Doskoro.
do skoro.